Apart from that, there's actually not much to say because there is no message. There is nothing that I have to tell you. There is nothing that someone needs to hear or understand or get. What happens, what apparently happens, is just everything, and it's naturally complete, whole and complete. There isn't anyone means that there is no one on a path, and there is no one who has lost something. So this whole impression that I'm now here and that I need something else is part of the dream. I don't say that it doesn't feel like that. If feeling like that is what apparently happens, that's a whole incomplete, and it's inevitable. There isn't anyone who can do anything about that, so to speak, exactly because there isn't anyone. But on the other hand, it's just a dreamt reality because no one needs to become a fulfilled me. It's a dream. There is no me, but that's why no one needs that really. It's a dream. And the person, so to speak, can walk through his or her life constantly thinking, but I still need something, but I still need something, but I still need to find peace. And for the whole life, it was never needed, so to speak. And apparently this just goes on until this dream drops. Bob. And in this apparent dropping, it's not that something will be found. It's not leading anywhere. It's this realization or this liberation or whatever the person is looking for will never be found. It'll be, or it is, just the end of the dream that there is such a thing. And this deep longing that I need to have it, that I need to arrive there. That's why there is no teaching. That's why this can't be taught. There isn't anything to be taught. There is no actual goal. And in that sense, the dropping of the me, the apparent dropping of the illusion of me, is not a goal as well. No one will arrive there either. No one will gain anything from it. There just is nothing to gain at all from anything. Nothing has been lost. All there is what happens. All there is what apparently happens, which is naturally whole. It's neither good nor bad, nor pleasant or unpleasant. That doesn't count, really. But in a very funny way, it's whole and complete already. And those needs, or those illusory needs, which circle around the idea that they will turn me into a fulfilled me, they are just illusory. And within the story, one could say, every teaching that circles around this idea that there is someone apparently confirms this dream. Of course, this confirmation would be dreamt as well. I mean, it's what the person apparently does anyway. The constant confirmation of itself, of the path, of things being real, and of thing that really something needs to be done. It's inevitable as well, but it's just part of the dream. Teaching, telling anyone how to be, or telling oneself how to be. It's the same. Question. You always say that in so-called liberation, it is seen that no one was ever there. Can you explain that a little more precisely? Oh, yes, of course, because it's a very, well, it's a weird thing to say. I mean, in liberation already is kind of a story. So all you get about in liberation are stories as well. But it's not really that an additional circumstance is seen, like, now I see that there never was anyone really, but it's automatic in a way by the turning out that this presence, this sense of presence, doesn't have any substance. It automatically implies that it never had substance. It's not a conclusion coming from a process. It's just automatic, so to speak. There just isn't anyone. So there never was anyone really. And also it's funny now in the story, so to speak, when I look back into my so-called life, which is a story already, I never can squeeze in the me in a way. It's not that when I remember 15 years ago, there was my memory plus me in it. It just was what seemed to be happening, so to speak. But it's impossible to find, yeah, there was a real me there for 40 years and then suddenly it wasn't that. No, it was never there. It was just a dream. In that sense, it's always weird to say in liberation it is seen that, because nothing is really seen. So it just is like that then, but for no one. But how that is, I mean. I mean, the person is so, not that it can do differently, but the person is so addicted to the idea that its fulfillment has something to do with seeing something, with clarity, with knowing how it is, with somehow be aware of the truth and stuff. I mean, it's the only thing it can do, but there is no connection to what we speak about here. Absolutely no connection between me becoming aware of how it is and the end of me, so to speak, or the turning out that there isn't anyone. Because there is no real reality to be seen. I mean, that's already part of the dream, the assumption that reality is in a certain way and that this could be seen or found. When the me drops, when the me drops, there is no need for a teacher, no need for teachings, and no need to seek anymore. Yes, of course. Yeah, yeah. I mean, before that, there was no need for a teacher as well, and no need for a teaching as well. It was just part of the dream. But me and seeking go together. You can't separate the sense of me from the illusory need to seek. So, oh yes, of course. When the person drops, this need drops. This need to become one drops. Because they are one. They go together. But there's no one left who is able to enjoy them. That's the problem. That there is no one left being able to say, well, I'm better off now. Question. Can you tell me what the ego is actually looking for? The ego seems to be looking for a perfect experience. What is that fulfillment that the so-called ego really wants? I feel like I'm waiting for that all the time, but I've no idea for what I'm really waiting. Quite weird. Oh yes, it has no clue. It doesn't know what it's looking for. in a way, one could say all it knows, which is a story, is, well, this isn't it. I'm now here, and what I'm aware of now isn't it. That's basically the personal experience. So it just feels unpleasant. It just feels unfulfilled in a way. There is this subtle sense of not this. And the rest, in a way, is already conclusions. So there must be something which would make me loved or whole and stuff. And this something, of course, needs to be an experience, because all I know is to experience. And automatically, if it's not this, it must be something else. And if this is now and the past is already gone, it has to be later on. So that's just, but it doesn't really know. One could say, you know, it's all a story, but then it goes out in the world, and then it starts seeing people, and then they say, well, if you have a lot of money, this might bring you this, or all those things, and the end would be liberation. But the good thing for the person with this idea of liberation is that it doesn't even need to know what it is. It can project kind of all its hopes and assumptions into that. And it's even fine to not know how it would be, or the person knows that, wow, when I'll be liberated, it'll be fine. But you're right, it has no clue what it's actually looking for. It doesn't know. The knowing and the seeing that the person seems to live in is utterly illusory. It's a dreamt reality, including its goals. And its knowing, to know, is illusory. And I know there even seem to be people who know what they want, but they have no clue. No one has. Okay. There seems to be progress in the story, when in truth there is no one there. It's difficult to describe, but since the contact with this message, the ego seems more and more permeable. But the permeability is also seen by someone. This is, of course, no real progress, but this apparent development cannot be denied. Yeah. But presumably, the ego thinks it's on a path here too. Maybe it's the right one this time. Can you comment on that, please? Oh, yeah, it's both. As I say, it's just both. On the one hand, it's what seems to be happening, the sense of me becoming more permeable, coming and going, more holes, more transient, maybe, something like that. That's what seems to be happening, which is whole already. That's it. That's what seems to be. It's whole already. It doesn't really lead anywhere. It's neither right nor wrong, and it's not part of a process, and it's not really progress. It's just what seems to be happening. Seen from the person, of course, as long as there still is someone, the person naturally will turn this in a process, and it will experience this coming and going stuff as not everything, and hope that this will lead me to where I want to go, liberation. But this is the dream. The person will not survive this. It's not part of a personal process where you will be the winner in the end. That's all. That would be the dream. What do you mean when you say all there is this? What are you referring to? Yeah, that's a bit of a mean thing, because I'm not referring to something. I'm not referring to anything. I'm not sitting here referring to this is all there is. So it's a bit mean, this sentence. But on the other hand, what we speak about, and what the person's experience is, that we speak about something else, about something which is not exactly sitting in front of a screen, but just something behind it, or some issue. And in that sense, this is what we speak about. What seems to be happening is no thing, is whole. But there isn't anyone who has any clue what that is, because there isn't anyone already experiencing what is happening. So that's what is meant by it's this, but it's not a circumstance that I'm referring to. Question or comment. I feel so much at peace today. What is, period. Yes. Yeah. Can we prove there is no one? No. This can't be proven. No. Because that's the thing. When you want to, in order to prove something, you're already operating in a dreamt reality. Because the reality you really want to prove something, it's already a world of circumstances, realities, processes, objects, and that thing. No, it can't be proven. And the one who inquires, the one who wants to find the proof, is the dream. So it will never be proved. What do you think about the koan thing? Just another method? Oh yes, of course. Yeah. That's why Zen turned into a religion. They think they use methods, and the idea of koan is another method. I mean, like any other method, they may bring some kind of results. Maybe the story stops or stuff like that. But this would still remain in the story. Yeah. This is not a teaching. This is not, I'm not speaking in order to create any kind of effect. It's not intended. There is no real effect. It's just itself. It's already it. Me speaking is wholeness. Someone hearing the words is wholeness. Any kinds of apparent effect, feeling good, feeling bad, laughing, not laughing, being bored, just is wholeness. Nothing happens. There's absolutely no intention and no process here. My former Zen master used to tell me that I have to stay with Mu, MU. I'm sorry. That's such a crap scene from now. Thank you. Yes, it's all, I mean, it's it's all quite ridiculous, to be honest. Yes. I mean, there is something sweet about it as well. But yeah. Yeah. I like, there is this one, I don't know if it fits now, but there is this one story from a Zen master who said to his disciple, from now on, you always do the exact opposite from what I say. And the disciple said, no, I won't. Well, oh dear. Poor masters. Mhm. Oh, question. Are you planting wake up seeds in our sleepy consciousness? And no, I don't. No, no. Consciousness, by the way, is the sleep. The experience to be conscious is the dream. So no, I'm not planting wake up seeds. Apparently, there's just bubbling out words. On both sides, actually.
Andreas, but the words that you use or that we use can't really describe it. Can't really describe it.
No, yes. Oh, it's not even a description of something.
And but it's still coming out.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't even attempt to describe anything. It doesn't attempt anything. It's just what seems to be happening. Or there isn't even the intention or the idea that I'm describing something. Oh,
right.
no. No,
So
no.
words coming out, and there is this impossibility to describe in a way.
Oh, totally, of course. Yeah.
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 And it's still happening, trying to describe the impossible. Yeah, what's impossible to describe.
Yes, but I wouldn't. I know it's words, but
Yeah,
I wouldn't even go that far and say I try to describe.
Yeah, it's not what I mean, but it's like this impossibility to describe, and words still coming out, but it's impossible to describe. It's such a
Oh, absolutely impossible. Yeah, it's impossible to know, and automatically that it's impossible to describe. There is no circumstance that could be described. I'm not in a state that I could describe. There is nothing special going on here. Yeah. Or there, or anywhere. That's the thing. It can't even be how it is. It's not only that it cannot be known, but it can't even be approached.
Yeah, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Just this impossibility, I think. Impossibility.
Totally. Yeah.
And it's not even feeling frustrating for you. You don't think like I'm trying to impossibly describe something. It's not even.
No, oh, there's absolutely no expectation. Oh no,
Right,
no. It's just words answering. Oh no. Not as no.
No.
No one will get anything. There is no success in this. There's not at all. If if there would be some kind of expectation, you would see me desperately inventing methods and teachings, and I would be angry with you. And a follow-up question to before: bubbling out like a stream, chirping like a bird, and raining like rain. Oh, yes. Yes, that's the natural reality. Yes.
Andreas, is there some kind of aloneness in this impossibility?
Aloneness.
Like,
Well,
I know there is no one there, but some kind of aloneness in the impossibility of I don't know.
Not really. I mean, of course, there is no connection possible in a way how the person understands connection.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Maybe
Yeah.
two separate things believing that they understand each other or something.
Right.
In
That's
that sense, that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
But aloneness, I don't know. My impression is still that this is somehow connected to the idea of I could be understood, or
Right.
so
I don't mean loneliness. I just mean like aloneness. I don't. Yeah.
yeah.
No.
Yes and no, not really.
Right.
That saves me.
Yeah. Thanks God. No, because you're dealing with many me's that do not really, that keep trying to understand,
Yeah, but in a way that doesn't put me in a situation where I'm alone. It's just quite
Right.
obvious that the person desperately tries to stay alone.
Right.
That there is some kind of the illusion of separation going on, which doesn't have any substance. That may be apparently obvious.
Right.
But as I say, this doesn't really create aloneness here. It's just confirming the illusion of aloneness on the other side. The person that's just constantly trying to get something, understand something, and apparently survive by doing so.
Right. So there is like, once the false self falls away, like aloneness also go with it, or?
Yeah, in a way one could say so, yes.
Right.
Yeah. But as I said, it's not replaced by an artificial connection. It's not replaced by a sense of, oh, I'm one with everything and I can count on that. I count on being connected or stuff like that. That's maybe the hope that the person has, that my aloneness will be replaced by me knowing that I'll never be alone or something.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
So.
Thank you.
Thank you. in that sense, just, I know that, I don't know how you mean it, but in that sense, I'm not dealing with me's, by the way. It's not that I'm, in that sense, I'm dealing with anything, or something happens and then I realize, oh, there's a me around now. Ooh, how to deal with that? And no, there's just what happens, and it's the same as here. There just comes out what comes out, without knowing anything about it, and actually regardless, so to speak, if someone else thinks they are someone or not, because it's not recognized as something that stands out. No, it would just be what apparently happens anyway, like clouds or trees, you know, like everything else, so to speak. So it's not even recognized that this is, oh, but they are thinking they are so. No, it doesn't matter. So there is no special treatment. For the poor me's. In any way, no possibility to wake someone up, no need to, there just isn't anyone really. That's the thing.
But is it I don't know, if you would not be able to communicate it to others, it's just like, I'm just playing a little bit.
Again?
If you would not be able to communicate it to others for whatever reason, or people will not be interested in that, or like there could be some kind of, I think, like aloneness within not something, aloneness like that it's not been able to be shared in a way. No.
Well, on the one hand, on the one hand, I am not able to communicate it. It's already the case.
This is where I started when I say impossibility, you know, it's like this is,
And yeah, I don't know, because I wouldn't, you know, I think, you know, I'm doing this now for 10 years, so to speak, the talks. And for the first 5 years, I was having a regular job. And for me, even in year number 5, so to speak, actually the decision was, okay, will I go more in this job or will I go more for the talks? And it wasn't even that it was clear. Both would, at that time, both would have been fine in a way. Both would have been a way to do. And I'm always not expecting, but this could just run out. And then I would work and it would be fine. It would just be what happens. And probably sometimes, I don't know, I would phone Tony or something, but not really to talk about liberation, because I don't have anyone to talk about this or something.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. You have no one to talk about. That's what I meant with that aloneness. But maybe it's not really aloneness. It's just like no one to talk to about it. So.
Oh yeah, but it's not needed.
No,
it's the thing. I'm not
right.
expressing myself here.
Right.
It doesn't serve me.
Right.
It does neither serve you, nor does it serve me. There is no need in that sense to do that.
Yeah.
That I need to express myself in order to be seen or something. No, that dropped together with the person. Yeah.
It's actually more free than what it sounds. It's more free.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
It's free to be expressed or not. That's what I meant.
Oh, totally. And of course, the expression itself in a way is illusory.
Yeah.
In the end. And yes, of course. I mean, it is funny in a way, because the talk started, so to speak, in that moment where I didn't have anything to say anymore at all. Nothing. There was nothing that I would go through the world and think that I'm able to say something to anyone, or that anyone even needs that I tell them how it is. That was completely gone. So, and suddenly I ended up sitting in front of people who were even asking things.
Yeah.
So, and this never changed really.
No.
So as I said, this doesn't even also does even not fulfill a need that's going on here, a need to express.
Yeah,
Though
thanks for
it's what
sharing.
comes and it seems to fit and it's lovely, but
It's not up to you. That's what you're saying. It's not up to Andreas.
oh, not at all.
Yeah.
Oh no, of course, no.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, there's a question in the chat. Since childhood, I have been very interested in the universe and the endless expanses. I'm fascinated by the fact that space is possibly infinite. The question of the infinity there and the limited existence here is fascinating and scary for me at the same time. And I've always wondered where the universe appears in. Yeah. I know that even in liberation, there is no answer or explanation to that. But could the question possibly drop away? Oh, yes, of course. Yes, of course. Because the whole question somehow takes place within a dreamt reality. Namely, that there is a universe in the first place. That there is something real happening in the first place. You already need someone who is aware of that. And in a very funny way, this question, what does the universe appear in, is actually the same question as who am I? It's just the personal experience. There is something and I'm aware of something, and immediately what's behind that? What does this appear in? Which is exactly the person's experience. I'm now here, I'm happening like the universe is happening, but where do I come from? What's behind that? What is the cause for me, so to speak? So, of course, this drops. When the person drops, there is no universe left. There is nothing appearing anymore in a sense of coming into existence. That's the thing. The moment you have something, there theoretically, possibly, can be something behind it, around it. And in a sense, for the person, it even needs to be so, because what is being seen can't be it. Not even the whole universe. The person is looking at this huge universe, or at least at some picture of the universe, but it has the idea of this huge universe, but it's still there is the idea, this can't be it. So yes, this drops. All questions drop. I have a visitor again. Okay.
Andreas, can you hear me?
Hello?
Hi, can you hear me or am I too?
Yes, no, yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So I wanted to ask that the difference between, you have your son behind you.
Yeah, I know.
So my question was,
We tried.
mhm.
Yes.
So the difference between you and me, for example, is that in your case or over there, there's a realization that there's no individual me.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it like that, because realization still sounds as if I realized something. What seemed to have happened is just the dropping of that sense that there is someone, but not as a realization. It's not that I realized that. It's not that I saw that. I just stopped being me.
And who is saying that when you say I just stopped doing me? Who
It's
is
just,
saying that?
no one says that. It's an apparent report. It's functioning. It's just instantaneously saying, well, there is no one. The dream is that this is coming from someone, But it could be saying like, I'm sad, I'm hungry, I'm going out of the room now. It would only the person which thinks that it's a personal report. No, it's just what seems to be happening.
And there's no way for a person to imagine, or I
Yes,
know it's not an experience, to know how it is like when it's not there. There's no way of.
exactly. Yes, in a way, one could say it's the only thing which can't be imagined by the person. It can
Right.
imagine all kinds of circumstances, pink elephants, pure bliss, to suffer forever, thousands of universes can somehow be imagined. But how it is when I'm not there, this can't. It's almost impossible for the person to even go there. How this should be.
But
Because
can you attempt to? I know you've attempted to describe it in a way, but at times, but like I guess I had a like the question I started with was I wanted to understand that how is the individual realization different from the realization by nothingness, because Tony uses the word that there's a realization by no one. So I wanted to understand what's the difference between a realization by no one and a realization by an individual.
yeah.
But then you said like there's no realization, so I don't know how to put it.
Yes, exactly. You can't really compare that. I mean, I hardly say realization, the word, but I sometimes say then it becomes obvious for no one, or suddenly it turns out that there is no one. But all of those don't really capture it, because the person would always misunderstand it as an experience of realization, an experience of, it becomes obvious and suddenly I see it, and then it will drop. Because I see it, then it's allowed to drop. Because I realize that there is no one, then the me, of course, can drop. And it's just not like that.
But apparently the behavior of an individual does play a part. Like for example, if I was totally against this message, I wouldn't even be listening to you. I would run away. But then
But you could die anyway. That's the thing.
it seems like that doesn't happen, right? It's mostly people who are actually seeking, who want to disappear, like in your case or in Tony's case, you wanted it in some way.
Yeah, in
Maybe.
some way. But even you trying to escape and run away from this message would still go on desperately seeking something.
Mhm.
So you can't. In a way, I know what you mean, but it's a story. And of
Because, for
course, I
example,
didn't want to die as well. I
right? Because
thought,
sorry, go on.
I too thought until the end that this message might give me something.
Mhm,
So I didn't want to die as well.
mhm. Um, but like for example, if I can't imagine, like for example, Donald Trump, I don't expect him to be listening to this message or his him disappearing. It's just unimaginable, or it's unlikely, right? Compared to somebody else, like who's sitting here listening to your message.
I mean, we don't know what he secretly does, but
Yeah, that's also true. N- I guess
maybe,
what
maybe it would even explain some things.
maybe he's already not there. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe he's just fine. Maybe it's a coming and going thing.
Right, right. So I guess I was just trying to um, see that if like some sort of personal effort um, makes a difference. I know like it doesn't, but seems like it does.
That's the thing. It seems like, and it only seems like that for the person, and the person is just trying to find rules out of what it is aware of. And the dilemma is that the person will always end up saying, good that I'm here, good that I seek, good that I observe, good that I notice. And it will somehow try to squeeze everything that it experiences and sees into that setup in order to confirm it. Well, not consciously, it doesn't do that consciously, but that's all it can process. And in a way, it's the only way it could see. That's the thing. If I tell my story and say I was seeking for 40 years, but suddenly the seeker turned out to be illusory, the seeker will turn that into, haha, you were a seeker, so it's good that I'm seeking. You were seeing Tony, so I need to see Tony as well, or you. I need to go on seeking, which would be the exact opposite of what's actually being said here. Well, opposite, not that it's really an opposite, but it's not what's being said here.
I guess then there's no way at all to do anything about it.
Yes, absolutely. There already isn't anyone doing anything. There
But
is no separate entity right now, so to speak, doing anything.
But there is a sense of ownership that's going on here with
That's
me. Yeah, that you do accept or acknowledge, right?
well,
And
apparently, just apparently.
so then in that way, everything is apparent, isn't it? Like what you're saying is apparent, what I'm seeing is apparent. So everything is apparent anyway.
Yes.
So,
But yes, I apparently accept the apparent sense of ownership on your apparent side. Yes, that's what seems to be happening. But there isn't anyone in control of that. That is wholeness as that.
but how is it more illusory than anything else? Like why do you say that it's illusory, and like why is me being pointed out as illusory? Why isn't everything else illusory as well?
Well, in the end, everything is real and unreal. But it's not even taking the me out and saying, here's the me, and this is illusory. No, it actually means there just is no me. So to discard the me as illusory is actually already giving it too much reality. It's not there. And as you said, there may be a sense of ownership, and that's what seems to be happening. But there just is no me behind that as well. There just isn't anyone.
Right.
One could almost say that's why it can't be understood, because there isn't anyone there to do so in the first place.
Right. I guess the most I can try to do is to make it my belief that there is no one, but that even like may or may not happen. I don't know.
Exactly. You can't do anything. There isn't anyone. There is absolutely no conclusion. I know that from the sense of a person that there will be the attempt to draw some kind of conclusion. All I can do is to just go on or whatever, but that's already, no. There will just be what there will be. There just is what there is. There is no one in control of anything. Not a single thought, not a single impression, nothing. There isn't anyone.
Actually, if I were to accept this message, it'll, make my life easier because there's no ownership, no guilt, no regret. But that's why I want to do it actually. But I'm not interested in
But
disappearing.
that's another hope.
Yeah, exactly.
That's another hope. And you will start trying to accept moment for moment. And sometimes you will have the impression to succeed, and sometimes you will have the impression to fail. but it'll always feel, you will always wait for the moment when you really accept it.
Mhm.
Another idea. There's nothing to accept.
Right, right.
But of course,
Okay.
it sounds nice. I mean, that's with all those teachings. They all sound very simple and nice. Well, you just have to accept everything. Yeah, of course. If there would be someone who could do so, it would be very a very simple solution, so to speak. Well,
Accept or surrender. Like I've tried doing that.
what again?
Like I've tried surrendering, but it's
Yeah.
like not easy.
Yeah.
Doesn't work for me.
Yes, surrendering. It's a bit acceptance. It's another word for acceptance. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. All right. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Thank you.
Hi,
Hello.
Andreas.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm very well, actually.
Good. Um, I would like to tell you something. I I don't think I ever ask questions or ever I tell you anything, but now is I decided I'm going to. Um, it's not a question. Just how about loneliness? The lady just talked about before alone, but what I'm talking about is different. The loneliness. So I know is happening, and then with me, and I come to the meetings and listen to people talking, and I come to the meeting because it feels like the end of the world. Somebody's holding my hand.
Hmm.
So I feel like I'm not alone anymore. But the biggest lie to myself, what I do, is telling myself there is no loneliness. But I put myself into other things. Yeah, no loneliness. But this crash on me and is bigger than was before. I didn't know there's a treatment for it. I read a book and now I know there is a treatment. Treatment to talking to professional about it.
Okay.
And yeah, so it's feel like I come to you because there's idea the dog comes to my house for making me walking, so it's a dog walking business, but it's an opposite. So that's um I don't know if this is connected or not connected to other people, or other people have this feeling. I'm sure they do, but it's I'm showing my external. So I turn my external to internal to you and to other people when I'm talking about this.
Hmm.
So it was hard to accept what it is, and I think no, I talked to you about it, and then you're gonna tell me. I know what you're gonna tell me. It's just happening,
Um,
and there's
what would be the question in the first place?
the question is would be the first place is loneliness is will drops when the me drops.
Yes, one could say so, yes. The impression to be someone who is separate. But that's in a way, the person is in a way constantly lonely, because all it knows is I am here in this huge existence, and I'm just by myself. So it tries to find connection. That's its way to not feel lonely. Connection to other people. It tries to create a we in order to overcome this loneliness. Or it tries to have a connection with life, or in spirituality, it tries to have a connection with everything, with whole existence and something. But its basic experience is I'm here. I'm someone who I am, who is alone, by the way.
It's not alone. It's not about alone, you know. It's the loneliness what I was talking about. And not just about alone. It's some people think it's strange, and that's why I never talked about it, never mentioned to anybody. It's weird, it's strange, I'm weird, but I talk to other people and who has the same feeling, and then they feel the same way. But when we were talking about, we didn't know there's a treatment for it, and then I didn't know. I grew up with no treatment. I didn't know this exists. Treatment exists for this too, and but I was hoping. You said, yeah, when the meat drops, loneliness drops. No, not really. Right?
I mean, there can be a feeling of loneliness, like sadness or joy or stuff like that, but there wouldn't be a state of I'm lonely or a state of loneliness.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks. Okay, we have in the chat, there are still questions in the chat, and we still have time, actually. Okay, there truly is no out there, isn't there? Just like there are no others. Yes, there is no in here, and there is no out there, and there is no exactly, yes. That was the next comment. Apparently, there is no in here either. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Du weißt, dass das nachher online geht?
Ja.
Okay. I just asked him if he knows if that it goes on YouTube, actually. He knows. Mach die Tür zu, bitte. Oh, the connection was gone for a moment. All right, I think that's about it. There is no teaching, there is nowhere to go, there's nowhere to stay. There just isn't anyone now here present in the first place. So all there is what happens, all there is what apparently happens, and it's just naturally whole and complete for no one. There's nothing to lose and nothing to find, and no realization of any kind. It's just this, it's timeless, it's spaceless. This. All right. Thank you very much. Have a lovely day. Nice to see you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks. Bye.